One of the most common types of online crime is identity theft, where someone poses as another person or uses the financial or private information of another person. And a term that comes up a lot in discussions about identity theft online is phishing, spelled with a PH for some reason when referring to it online. This is requests for personal and or financial information, and these are often disguised as legitimate personal or business communications. And they're often done through email. Sort of traditionally they are, though in the age of social media, now we see phishing scams where, say, someone kind of clones my grandma's account and tries to talk to me and get me to click links to their site or to give them private information or different things like that. So this is a key component often in how identity theft is done, though it's not the only way that identity theft gets done. So in terms of identity theft, especially online, what we commonly see in the case of falsely using someone else's identity is stolen credit card numbers. That's one way to sort of impersonate someone, is their financial information like that. Unauthorized purchases through hacked shopping site accounts like Amazon or things like that. Stealing the social security numbers of other people, or in the case of phishing, convincing them to give you that information, and then applying for things like credit cards, bank accounts, loans, whatever. And hacking someone's email, social media, other accounts that might allow you to impersonate them in a way that may not even be financially harmful, but might be personally harmful, posting illegitimate and, offensive things on their email or their social media. So some of the ways that people gather this kind of information to then be able to commit identity theft are sometimes they will mirror a legitimate website, or as I mentioned, mirror someone's legitimate Facebook page or social media. So this is where you see those sites that are like bankofamerica.scamsite.com or something like that, where it looks like the bank's site, but it's just because they've copied all of the content, and whatever you enter there goes to their own servers, and they're able to use it and exploit it. And then, of course, the sort of traditional and most common one is emails with either offers or requests for information. So an email that says, this is UPS. If you want to be able to pick up the package we have for you, you have to enter X, Y, and Z information. And they use that information to commit identity theft, or the sort of quintessential, I'm a rich person from a faraway country and I want to deposit money into your account. Please give me your bank account kind of scam. So you can see that most of the phishing and identity theft kind of things have an element of social engineering to them, where it doesn't always take something very high tech. It can take just tricking someone into doing something. And another way that's increasingly common as people post more information online or things like that is just gathering that information that's been posted online and using it to impersonate the person or hack. So the example of someone copying my grandmother's Facebook page is an example of identity theft itself, because they've gathered the information that she's posted online already publicly, and they've used that then to commit one step of identity theft. Then they might use it as another step to try to get people that she's connected to give away information. Sometimes they get enough information to, gain financial, things, being able to break into accounts or to impersonate a person to get a credit card or things like that, simply based on the information that someone has put publicly online. If, for example, your social media profile contains stuff that might be the answers to those secret questions for password recovery or things like that, then that can be one source for them. Or in particular, for a while, it was common for people's information to be stolen from online job sites. So now, for example, LinkedIn requires people to be logged in to gather any information because people were able to use someone's job history or things like that to impersonate them. And some ways that people can prevent identity theft for themselves or for their customers is to use well-verified encrypted connections. We've talked a few times about how encrypted websites can display that they are verified, that they actually belong to, Amazon.com or that kind of thing. And it's important that it be not just that it's encrypted or even that it has the little green lock symbol by it, but that the certificate that's being used actually matches the site that you are going to, because anyone can get those verifications. And so, for example, my websites have those, but if someone hacked into my website and put up a fake Amazon website, there would still be the green lock, but it would not necessarily be a match for Amazon. So there are some steps that people can take in addition to just what your browser will do or that kind of thing, going to encrypted websites. Similarly, encrypting your data and your devices themselves, your phone or your laptop, can be encrypted when you're not logged into it, so that if someone gets access to that device, they can't gather your information off of it. Using only trusted e-commerce sites can be another helpful step to not. Sometimes there may be some obscure site that has the exact thing you want, but that might be a site that's more easily compromised or more easily fakeable, or just less ethical in how they do things. Using multi-step authentication methods can be another way to prevent identity theft. So my bank, for example, will ask for my username, then show me a picture that I've selected in advance, and that sort of does some things to prove to me that they actually are my bank's site and not some other site impersonating my bank. And we see also the two-factor authentication methods, where even if someone guesses your password, they still have to get a code that's sent to your phone or that sort of thing. And that can stop someone from being able to make that last step to get into your account. You can also pay for identity theft protection services. They will watch for activity on your social security number or on your other sort of financial information and alert you or block things unless you've explicitly requested for those things to go through. And so if you're worried that your information may have gotten out there, those services can be a helpful one to make sure that no one's actually able to do anything particularly harmful to it or with it. I had a friend, for example, who had no idea that someone was taking out multiple credit cards in his name because it didn't impact him until he needed to do some other financial transaction, a loan or something like that. And he found out that his credit was terrible, because you don't really get notified or know if someone is making something in your name if they're using a different email address or mailing address for doing it. And then another helpful thing can be, even if you have to use a site that you're not sure how secure it is, or any site that you use that you put payment into, rather than inputting your credit card into all of those different sites or things like that, you can use third-party payment methods like PayPal, where all the site that you're buying from gets is the money from PayPal. And if the site gets hacked, The hackers don't get your credit card number or your information. They only see that there was a PayPal transaction there. And so that can sort of shield you and put you behind sort of a protective barrier there. So these are just a few of the steps that you can take to protect yourself from identity theft, and that can be taken by different sites or things like that. And you will see some more of these as you do the readings and as you do your activity for assignment 6.